Will the magical life of Manny Pacquiao over the course of the past couple of years continue? The difference in hand speed will be immediately apparent.
Don't step on it, don't step on it.
Pacquiao's left hand was blocked by Clottey's gloves. Clottey is not throwing. He's really only thrown a few punches so far.
What the fuck? Y'all ass going on Facebook. Oh my God. Stop it.
Pacquiao is seeing most of his stuff blocked, but gets a little left hand in there.
But right now it's fighting his fight, and it's what he should do. He can never try to match Manny with punch for punch. That's not him. But I think the way he's fighting, trying to just get close and eventually start shooting a little pecky right-hand lead through the center is what he's got to do.
Clottey went into his deep defensive guard at that time, both hands up, gloves in front of his face. Pacquiao banged away against his arms as they went to the ropes.
I think these first few minutes have enormous significance. Clottey came out looking like he wants to see what this force of nature is all about, and I think Pacquiao has to impress him here to keep him on the defensive. So far, Clottey doesn't look overly impressed.
Yeah, this was always ridiculous. I think it's going to be a long fight.
Well, Clottey's so much bigger and stronger.
Yeah, but
you know, and plus he's skilled and talented, particularly as a defender. So how could it be an easy fight?
It can. You're right. And the best thing that Manny can do is try to.
Oh shit. What the hell?
Catch Clottey when he punches. That's when he's most vulnerable. Not right now.
But already you see the problem for Clottey in terms of the punch output equation. How can he win rounds when he's throwing about one punch for every 3 or 4 that Pacquiao releases, or so it appears? Body shot by Pacquiao. Clottey short with the jab.
It seems unlikely that Clottey can win rounds short of hurting Pacquiao, but he has shown in this first round that he can catch Pacquiao clean.
And just did there with a jab.
Exactly. He can't land the shot. You'll probably see Clottey started landing them little short punches just like he tried to do right there. Just as Manny backs away and he's relaxing, those little shots come out such a short distance where he can't see them.
The question is, can Clottey at any point hurt Pacquiao with one of these straight shots he's shooting up the middle?
He may not, but as going down the stretch, I think the fight's going to be a very tight fight, I think. And right now the fight is going more to Clottey's planning, I think, than Manny, because Manny thought he would be able to penetrate a little bit back.
So, will Pacquiao be patient? Can he take several rounds and try to construct a way of picking Clottey apart?
Well, he's throwing shots, but he still hasn't been able to do too much. And the main thing, I think he should start preparing himself to try to win a decision, as I said earlier.
Well, he's preparing to win a decision because, unless I'm totally out to lunch here, and barring a big change, he'll exit this round up 2-0 on the scorecards. The belt line. It didn't do any real damage. There's another one right on the belt. Rafael is letting both fighters throw at the belt line. There's a combination for Pacquiao, and he manages to rip a left through the guard. Clottey pretends to wobble.
Usually a sign that a fighter's actually hurt. It doesn't look like Clottey was hurt there.
No, Clottey's not hurt. I think really he's getting very comfortable in this fight right now.
Clottey tried the first couple of uppercuts a moment ago. That's what he hopes will be a big weapon. But when he throws the uppercut with the left, Pacquiao will counter with that brilliant right hook of his. That's been a very damaging punch. There's a good left for Clottey, straight onto the face of Pacquiao.
Clottey's landing effective punches. Manny's throwing them, but the really effective, those were short point-to-point punches are more effective from Clottey than from Manny at this stage.
And yet Clottey's losing this round by a wide margin.
Agreed. He feels comfortable with what he's doing.
Yeah, but Manny's winning the fight. He's doing what he's saying. You got to remember to keep just doing what he's doing, just out-punching this guy. Don't go for a knockout.
Yeah, what Clottey has not throwing so many punches, and he thought maybe he could.
No, he can't stop him from doing that. Manny's going to throw punches. But I don't get a certain point, you start getting a little frustrated still when you're throwing punches, and really for clean punches yourself, you're not landing anything. To me, still, the effective punches are from Clottey.
Of the punches that Pacquiao's throwing, Clottey's making every punch count, but he, as Jim, you say, he needs to throw more
I
of
see
them.
different. I see Clottey landing the straight punches, the clean punches.
Perhaps, Emmanuel, but he threw 27 and landed 5 in the last round, but Manny threw 96.
I said Manny's winning the fight,
okay,
but I'm saying the clean, effective punches are still, to me, coming from Clottey.
There
are not enough of them.
Yeah,
it's not enough.
And they're cleaner punches, but even when Clottey's blocking some of these Pacquiao shots, they're partially blocked. They're also partially landing.
And Manny, interestingly, has shown more focus to the body in the first couple rounds than I think I've seen from him in quite a while.
Looks like Pacquiao's also felt Clottey's power more in this third round.
Definitely. His head was snapped up by an uppercut. But nothing stops him from pouring the punches on. A minute left in the round. He's already thrown 61 punches in the round. Hard right hand by Clottey. Best punch of the fight.
This decision. And not get frustrated.
One of these crisp counters of Clottey's that you pointed out, Emmanuel, has to land hard enough to hurt Pacquiao, I think, at some point in the fight. It doesn't have to be right now, but at some point he has to throw it with real conviction.
I agree. Here you see, which may be typical of Clottey's effective punches. They're a little simple, little straight, little shots that he's landing, but the problem is he's not throwing enough of them. But his punches are
181, and Clottey has only thrown 100 in the first 3 rounds. So Manny is averaging 93 punches.
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Manny Pacquiao. You know, Jim, he's so smart, it's amazing. You know, you come out and you see a guy covered up like Winky Wright, hands held high, elbows in tight. What do? You step around. Manny Pacquiao keeps stepping around the guy and whacking him in the ribs and piling up points. Forget the fact that he's breaking him down. You see, he'll step there and see, he steps around and he usually follows it with a hook. There he goes, stepping around again, banging to the body. 3-0, Manny.
You agree this is the most body punching we've seen Pacquiao do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, beautiful body punching, no question. This guy's covered up. You can't hit him.
Pacquiao hit cleanly to the head, more than we've seen him hit cleanly to the head in the Diaz, De La Hoya, Hatton, and Cotto fights combined, I think. And Cotto had some success early.
Yes, he did. Most people gave Cotto a couple of rounds, the first and the fifth.
Pacquiao looked like threw a right and left hand at the same time, like clapped Clottey.
Harold, what was Rafael dealing with there?
Jim, you can't hit the guy with 2 hands. Manny Pacquiao threw 2 hands at once.
Here we go. Clottey backed into a corner and for a moment was inert as Manny banged away. I'm not sure what's happening to Joshua Clottey and why he's not throwing Emmanuel. There he goes. Went a long time without releasing his hands there.
Yeah, that's Manny's scoring those points too in the meantime.
Well, I think Manny's breaking his guard down. It looks to me as though he's starting to land more.
Both guys are fighting the fight that they play in to a great degree. That's what's going to be interesting to see who wins out in the end. Because Pacquiao said he's going to be punching, moving in and out, side to side, giving him angles. Clottey said he's going to cover up and try to break his will by just letting him punch himself out. So it's going to be interesting to see how this fight finishes up.
Those are 2 hard body shots for Clottey.
Well, Pacquiao has hurt and not.
Here we see I guess the referee called infraction rule when he like clapped his head between both heads, something I've never saw did before. and you see him in the corner where Manny just pummeling him right here with some great shots in there. Nothing that landed that clean, but it was a
We mentioned Cutman in Pacquiao's last loss against Eric Morales in 2005. Clottey wanted a trainer who worked with him earlier in his career in Ghana, Godwin Cote, to come here and handle him for a visa for Cote. And that left Clottey having to fight in what amount to makeshift circumstances for him. He's such a veteran, and he's so deeply ingrained in his own style that it's hard to imagine it would affect him all that much. But of course, you always want to have the training camp with the trainer you prefer.
Yeah, but I was not super impressed with his training before, so I think Larry DeJesus would do very well. But
Relationship with Freddie Roach is probably the strongest relationship of any fighter and trainer in the sport.
now this is when Manny has a good chance to try to hurt Clottey when he starts punching, and that's when he leaves himself open a little bit. See that? When he punches, he pulls his head up. And that's when Manny has to try to catch him, when he's punching himself.
Guards like this and doesn't let his hands go, he's giving the fight away.
Yeah,
he has no chance.
If he punches himself, he may get caught, so that's his safety factor.
In the last 30 years, there have been 3 star fighters from Ghana. The very great Azuma Nelson fought to win in every fight. No flies on him. And both Ike Quartey and Joshua Clottey have been spectacularly talented in the ring.
But going down the stretch in those close fights, Quartey never did stretch out. He was going
backed
to a
off.
safety zone. That's why he lost his big fights. And at this stage right here, this fighter here is looked like he's just worried of getting tired.
Not
worried of
willing to
getting
lay
hit.
himself on the
Not
line to
willing
try to
lay-
win the
that's
fight.
right.
But this is how Clottey fights, and normally it's enough to win, in except when he stepped up against the
That's
best
right.
But he
opposition.
knew he was fighting Manny Pacquiao.
When he steps up in class, he loses.
And
those
what
fights.
we all knew is that he would have to be someone he's not to win. We're asking a lot of him.
Right. He's
And
being who he is.
And I think it's really a testament to Pacquiao so far.
Moves too much, commands the ring too much. He's been in charge of the ring.
And yet Clottey is landing.
Yep. Lands
Clean
both
shots,
of the
continues
lands
to.
both of those right hands. Lands that combination. But now here comes Manny.